Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Advice to Think Twice. My name is Monica and I'm here with our daily advice for February 14th, 2018. Happy Valentine's Day for those of you who celebrate Valentine's Day. As always, we're looking at the energies that surround us during this time, what we need to know about the energies in order to be able to use them for our highest good. And keeping in mind, the messages will speak in different ways to everyone because we are looking at energies, so just take away the message in the reading and then apply it to your own situation in whichever way you feel it applies. Okay, so the first card that we have representing the influence of the past on our current situation, we have the Eight of Abundance. This is a time of learning and honing your skills. You may feel inspired to go back to school, take seminars on topics that fascinate you, or educate yourself on the healing arts. This is a good time to change jobs or make a career move. The key to success is in the details. Monitor your projects carefully. So this can absolutely talk about, the beginning of a new course of study, a new job, a new training opportunity, whether that is training to hone your skills or physical training. It could even be a new relationship and you're focusing, you're investing time, energy, you're making the effort to make sure that it's worthwhile, to make sure that it's healthy, to make sure that it has a long-term future. The Eight of Abundance is a card that talks about us taking the time to do things properly. It is a card of intense focus and dedication, commitment to doing the best job that we can, okay? And that is what is influencing us today. With the Eight of Abundance, if we're not careful, if we don't keep our feet on the ground and our head on our shoulders, sometimes we can go to extremes. Sometimes we can be too focused on whatever this is that we're working on to the detriment of other areas, other projects, others in our lives. It can also make us feel like we have to be perfect, so we're putting pressure on ourselves, and so on and so forth. Because the focus and the dedication are so intense, they can get out of hand. But if we do things properly, take it one step at a time and recognize the value of rest, of socializing, of exchanging views and opinions with others while we're focused on this project, whatever it may be, then it has great chance for success. Okay? In today's energy, we have the Four of Thought. Spend time in nature, listening for guidance from your angels and your own inner voice, because overanalyzing the situation won't provide the answers you're seeking. Consider taking a vacation or a small break to help you rejuvenate and become clear on what your next step should be. Meditation can be very helpful. So it can be that something that we have started, for some of us recently, for others going further back, and we've been very focused on it, completely focused on it. The Four of Thought comes in to say we may be reaching a point where we feel like we're just spinning our wheels but we're not really achieving anything. We may reach a point where we need to rest, we need to take a break, okay? And our bodies will tell us if that is the case. It can also be a time when we stop and assess how far we've come, what we're accomplishing, if we're on the path we intended to be on, if we're still working towards our plan, towards our goal, but stopping to allow ourselves to be inspired once again. Because when we are so focused and dedicated and we're really focused on making something the best that it can be, then we're just fully invested in that. And sometimes we forget to rest properly, we forget to pay attention to our dreams, we forget to pay attention to our spirituality, we forget to pay attention to our spiritual team because we are working on more practical, realistic matters. So the Four of Thought comes in to remind us of our connection to our guides, to our spirituality as a whole, to our faith, okay? Even to our traditions or anything like that. And so today could be a day where we put things on pause and we allow ourselves a day or an hour or a couple of hours or 5 minutes whatever we can, really, whatever we can spare, whatever we can make time for, to contemplate, to meditate, to pray, to not think about anything, okay, to just relax, to allow ourselves to be inspired, to open up to divine guidance, divine love, divine truth, divine inspiration, okay, especially if we've reached a point where we feel like we're not really moving forward from here, or we don't know how to move forward, or we feel like things have just slowed down and we've kind of lost our way, okay. That's a way for our spiritual team to say, you have to go back a couple of steps and incorporate us into what you're doing, because communication with us all the time keeps you going on the right path, keeps you going in the right direction, gives you peace of mind, gives you comfort, gives you new ideas, inspiration, motivation, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that element is lacking, or maybe lacking, because we've been so focused on real things, realistic, practical, concrete, okay, that have taken a lot of effort on our part. And the energy that we're moving into tomorrow with, we have the 5 of Emotions. Forgiveness is an important part of healing. Forgive yourself and those around you for any mistakes of the past so that everyone can move forward. Grieving is a normal part of life. Ask your angels or those you love to help you move through the process quickly so that you can get back on the path of joy. So this talks about, while we're meditating, while we are, open to receiving guidance and messages and direction, we may have certain realizations. We may realize that actually I've given too much to this situation and not enough to my loved ones, or I've given too much to this and not enough to myself and my own health. There's some sort of realization of how far we've gone in a certain direction, but to the detriment of others. Not necessarily to the detriment of others in the sense that we've purposely hurt someone to get ahead, not in that way, but meaning where we've been so focused on our job, let's say, that we forgot to spend time with our family, or we took them for granted and said, you know what, they're always going to be there, there's always going to be time for family, I need to get this done now. Same thing with the relationship, where we focused so hard on the relationship where we forgot to talk to our family, we forgot to connect with our friends, we forgot to take time just for ourselves, and so on and so forth. So it can be different things. But again, whatever this is, we come to a conclusion where we see that there has been an imbalance in our lives. We have been overlooking something, and we see that. And the way forward, the way to really move forward from there, is to forgive ourselves, to forgive anyone else we need to forgive, so that we can truly move forward and get back on the path of joy, get back to what we were planning to do in the first place. But this time we use our wisdom, we use what we've learned, and we're not going to allow that imbalance to happen again, right? So even if something today may feel like a step back or sitting still, it is actually the way to see how to move forward, okay? Our guidance card, see about meditation again, we have Kiwi. Do a walking meditation each day for the next week. Now this can be direct, simple, to the point advice, where we are encouraged to do a walking meditation each day for a week. But the message is, make time for peace, make time for quiet, make time for spirituality, for your faith, make time for meditation. It's very, very important, since it keeps coming up in today's energy with the Four of Thought and the Kiwi card, both talking about meditation. It is very important for us to try to meditate, to make time. Even if it's a short meditation, it's important to make time for it, okay? And don't imagine that you have to sit a certain way and have certain things arranged around you in a certain way and have, dead quiet or whatever for you to be able to meditate. You don't have to build it up in that way. It could just be a few moments of focusing on our breath, breathing in, breathing out, allowing ourselves to feel that sense of peace and calm, and then either observing our thoughts or focusing, or rather setting the intention to receive guidance from our angels and our guides, and just remaining open to whatever thoughts, ideas, inspiration they send our way. Okay, you can meditate in a lot of different ways, but do what works for you. And it could be 5 minutes, it could be 50 if you have time, but the message is, let's make time for this, because it's very important to bring back spirituality, faith, religion, prayer, meditation, quiet time, sitting still, doing nothing, okay, whatever it translates into for each of us. It's important to incorporate that or reincorporate that into our lives, okay, as opposed to just focusing on the realistic, concrete, practical aspects of life in whichever way that applies, okay? So it's important today to focus on the unseen side of things. It's important for us to focus on the subtle energies. It's important for us to focus on that, restoring the balance of seen, unseen, realistic, concrete, and the realm of hope, faith, and just spirituality in general, okay? Because by balancing those two, that's when we are balanced, that's when what we do has meaning, it has potential, it brings us success, it brings us abundance and more peace, okay? So by keeping that in balance, it's like the high priestess. I keep saying the high priestess because we are in between those two worlds, and the seen and what's behind the veil, and she's sitting in the middle of it. She is balanced, she's calm, she's poised, calm, cool, collected. She knows, she observes, she learns, and when she needs to, she speaks, okay? So it's reaching that inner peace, okay, where we will have all the answers we need, we will have the direction we need, we will have the motivation we're looking for, we will have everything that we need, okay? So let's have a look at what our power thought is. Okay, so I am willing to forgive. So again, we have the energy of forgiveness. Forgiveness of myself and others releases me from the past. Forgiveness is the answer to almost every problem. Forgiveness is a gift to myself. I forgive and I set myself free. So again, whatever realization we come to today or in the coming days, okay, it's energy, so it can play out or across a number of days. But whatever realization we come to, where, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or actually I should have done more of that and less of that, or whatever the case may be, we're asked to look at it with kindness and compassion, keeping in mind that everything happens for a reason, and keeping in mind that nothing is a mistake as long as we learn from it, okay? So forgiving ourselves for things we may have said or done or not said or not done, forgiving others for whatever they may have said or done, so that we can restore that sense of peace and we can find our balance. And then we have peace in our hearts, we have peace in our minds. It's a lot easier for us to hear our guides, for us to identify the voice of our own intuition and inner wisdom, as opposed to crazy thoughts running in our heads, or doubts or fears or ego or whatever the case may be. Okay? And it's also a lot easier for us to feel comforted or feel reassured that we're moving in the right direction just from within, by our angels, our guides, the spirit guides, the universe, whoever it is that we work with. So forgiveness is very important. And again, showing up in the 5 of emotion as well. So we may come to a point where the 4 of thought represents a truce. It represents the realization that, you know what, this has been going on long enough. Let's make peace because it's been eating me up inside. Let's move on from this because it's been making a hole in my heart. Okay? And then forgiving someone doesn't mean we condone what happened. We just understand that, you know what, everything happens for a reason. I will learn from it, and that's how I grow from it, and that's how I turn it into something positive in my life, as opposed to a source of stress, anxiety, pain, worry, disappointment, or whatever the case may be. Okay? Forgive and release. And that's how we can open up our hearts again to receive our guidance. Okay? So that is our message for today. I hope that it makes sense. I hope that it helps if you're dealing with these energies whenever you get to see the video, whenever you get to watch this. Make time today. It's very important today in particular. Make time to relax, make time to meditate, make time to say a prayer, make time to just go outdoors, spend a few minutes outdoors in nature, just taking it all in, okay? The beauty of nature, the sounds of the birds, the trees, whatever. Just take that in, okay? Be a part of nature. Don't just go outdoors, but still think about issues, problems. How am I going to fix that? How am I going to do that? Because that isn't really very helpful. When we go and open up to take it all in, that's when it really benefits us greatly, okay? So I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all your support. Let's have an absolutely beautiful, peaceful, and inspiring day with lots of compassion, forgiveness, and self-forgiveness, and preparing ourselves for answers and direction and a new sense of purpose and whatever it is that we may be looking for at this time. Okay? So thank you again, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care.